Welcome, everyone. Noah here on the Dynamics Weekly newsletter and podcast. For the last few months, I've been interviewing class and session presenters for Community Summit, which is scheduled just a couple of weeks from now, October 19th to the 23rd. Time has flown by. So I'm hoping that everybody has registered for Summit. If you haven't already, I think that is still open even until the day of arrival or the 19th. Today on our 65th interview, these are really added up because there's so many people that are presenting at Summit. We have Robert Jolliffe with us. Robert, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Noah. How are you?
Doing fine. So you and I have been chatting a little bit before we started this recording about the glory days of Microsoft and Great Plains and everything, all the acquisition stuff. So you've been in the Dynamics arena for a while.
I am newer to it than a lot of the other people I bump into. And when I first got in, I felt like a fish out of water. Everybody seemed to know each other, and it's like going to high school, a new high school, and
Yeah.
everybody's in their groups, and you don't know anybody. And but I've settled in.
Good, awesome. I you're with Sabra. Is it Sabra Limited?
Saber.
Sabre.
Yeah, we
Okay.
spell it the funny way the British spell it. But yeah, Saber Limited. Do
Awesome.
you want me to give you a bit of my background?
Yeah, you're president with Sabre. Yeah, what you led you to? Did you start Sabre, or what led you to
Yeah,
them?
Saber's my business. So, my father and two of my uncles were entrepreneurs who had manufacturing companies. And growing up, my summer jobs were forced on me, and many child labor laws were violated. And I worked for mostly my dad. Although later, after I graduated university, I went to work for my uncle for a couple of years. But I was I was working in manufacturing shops and having to listen to stories about manufacturing and production scheduling and inventory management when I was a teenager, like 13, 14, 15. So I say to people, I've been doing manufacturing for over 40 years, which ages
Uh-huh.
me. But when I graduated, I went to work for my uncle for a couple of years, and then I landed a job supposedly as an industrial engineer, but I wasn't good at what they wanted for an industrial engineer. It wasn't what I would think of today as an industrial engineer, but also an part-time IT guy. And I always had a love for IT and servers and networks and SQL and all that kind of technology. And so when I got this job, this company had just bought something called ERP, and nobody knew what it was. And they hadn't bought shock Microsoft products. It was not Navision. It was not Great Plains. It was an Infor, what later became an Infor product called Visual
Okay.
Manufacturing. And I cut my teeth on that. And so after working there for 4 years, the Y2K rush had started. So all that before 2000, everybody wanted to buy a new ERP system. And this product that we used was pretty good. It was Windows based, it was early Windows based ERP. And it was just flying off the shelves. The company that implemented it just couldn't keep up with the demand. And so I hung a shingle and I said, I'm here. Anybody want to hire an independent consultant to work and help you with this system? I knew the SQL database and could do custom reports for companies. I'd been a manufacturing engineer for a couple of years and done purchasing and product design and production scheduling. So I could sit with the engineering department or the purchasing or scheduling department, and I could talk the talk. I knew what they were talking about when they talked to me. I taught myself accounting over a couple of years of doing this because the controllers would tell me what they wanted, and I'd look at them like a deer in the headlights. So they'd start explaining debits and credits to me so I could understand what they wanted me to report on. And
Uh-huh.
by the mid 2000s, like 2007, maybe late 2000s, I ran into this situation where the guy who was selling the product stopped selling it. And that was my business. Was I wasn't selling it. I couldn't sell this product. All I could do was provide after market services, but I actually had a little team who worked for me. We did custom programming in a Pascal language. And so I went to Microsoft one day because we sold servers to our clients as well, because I had that IT thing. And Microsoft said, "Oh, what do you do?" And I explained it. And they went, "Oh, you should sell Dynamics." And I thought, I should? Yeah, I'll sell Dynamics. And they hooked me up with Great Plains.
Awesome.
And in retrospect, that probably wasn't the best place for me to get started, because Great Plains, at least in Canada, because I'm from Toronto, Great Plains was not well known as a solution for manufacturing. It was seen as a solution for accounting, and I was not an accountant. So I struggled, and it was 2008. So I started as a Microsoft Dynamics partner as the world economy flushed down the toilet, and had it was 4 very rough years. Now I had a customer base because I had been doing the other gig. So we managed to sort of eke it out. And in 2013, I went back to Microsoft. I said, "I don't think this is the right product." And they demoed Dynamics NAV 2013 to me. And I said, this is the right product. And then from that point till today, Sabre has been a 100% manufacturing only focused partner, selling at first NAV and now Business Central. And we've helped actually a few Great Plains partners who have made the migration into the Business Central world with their businesses, because we were there before most of the other Great Plains partners moved into the Business Central world. And I like to give back. You get, what is it? You get what you give, right? You get back what you put into something. And so I tend to try and help other partners if they need a hand with their manufacturing implementations. And we've done that with a number of partners who we work still, for many of them, pretty closely with.
So 100% on manufacturing. Is it 100% Business Central now?
It is 100% Business Central, 100% manufacturing. And as a general rule, it's targeting small, medium business, not small corporate. So we tend to be, our customers tend to be a bit smaller. I mean, I have clients with 400, 500 employees, but they're the exception. The rule for us would be probably 100-ish or less employees. I think the smallest client we have is 7, but that's probably a bit too small, to be honest.
Yeah. And for these implementations and the clients you have, are you focusing on a region, or are you just anywhere?
No, we're North America wide, but we are fixed fee. So we are known in the industry as, amongst the other partners, as the crazy company that does fixed fee manufacturing implementations. Because a lot of clients don't want to try, not a lot of Business Central partners know that manufacturing is a tough type of implementation to do. There's many of them that do fixed fee for financials only, or for financials and supply chain. There's very few who do it with manufacturing. We're the crazy people who only do it with manufacturing.
Gotcha. Okay. And being with Business Central and all this, have you been to plenty of summits?
This will be our third.
Okay.
I was going to Convergence. You and I were talking about that in the green room, and I loved it. It was great.
So for everybody, there's a new conference called Convergence, but the one that Robert is mentioning is one that Great Plains used to have back in the 90s and early 2000s.
Well, the last one I went to was in the 2010s sometime. I feel like it was around 2012. And it was a Great Plains. It was very similar to Summit. It was a more Great Plains oriented, although NAV and AX and SL were certainly present at the conference. But by and large, it was a Great Plains conference. I really enjoyed that, and I went to it. And then when Microsoft ended the Convergence conference. I know there's a conference coming up shortly that's also called Convergence. I think it's a bit of an attempt to recreate it. Perhaps. I don't think it's Great Plains specific at all, but
I don't think
when
so
it
either.
ended,
No.
there wasn't a good conference to go to that I knew of. And then we were focused on transitioning to our NAV business model, which became Business Central, and then of course you had COVID. And so during those years between, let's call it 2013 to 2018, 2019, we were going to some very specific NAV conferences, but not conferences with customers generally. And then the first summit I think I officially did a session for was the virtual one during COVID when they had canceled the physical summit, and I went to that virtual one and did a session. I don't know if it was the session that I'm doing at this conference, but it might have been. Actually, no, I think it was a differences between Great Plains manufacturing and Business Central manufacturing, which I have done numerous times as sessions, because there are some differences between them, but in general, I would say Business Central manufacturing is probably better for the average customer, but that's not to say it's always better.
And, this is like the third time they've had Summit in Orlando. Were other times in Orlando any?
I did the summit in, I think there was one in Charleston. No, I did one in Orlando. I think there was one was it Charleston? In North
Charlotte,
Carolina?
maybe?
Raleigh, maybe? Anyway, I went to one in North Carolina, the one last year in San Antonio. Actually, I guess this will be my fourth in-person summit.
Okay. Well, they pack them in. There's a lot of attendees, so it'll be interesting to see the turnout given today's economy and everything going on around us. So we're all anxious to see how the turnout is. But they pack so many people into these conferences with all the ERPs and all the other platforms and software solutions that Microsoft is rolling out. So there'll be plenty of people to mix with.
Well, I found now I guess it is 4 years that I've been going, the number of attendees has definitely been increasing every year.
It has, yes.
And I think one reason for that is that Microsoft with Business Central has found themselves with an incredibly popular product that's gaining a lot of market share. I think another reason is that coming out of COVID, I think people at first were tentative to go to in-person events, but now we're all sick of having to be at home, and it's great to get out and be around people again and be someplace sunny as the weather turns a bit colder. Up north, you can go down and enjoy some last gasp of really hot weather in Florida. And I also think that people are finding Summit. Like it's becoming better known.
Yep. And there's all the other solutions are just fueling that as well. Like, Copilot, that's a huge keyword nowadays. All the AI stuff, Power Platform. So they've got a lot of stuff to keep people's interest.
Yeah, I agree. And I recommend to my clients that they send somebody to Summit so that they can keep up on what's new, what's coming, what are the trends, where is Microsoft taking the technology. And it's very hard when you have your phone ringing or somebody's knocking on your door because there's a question, and to try and take the time to watch webinars or catch up on YouTube or read articles. You really need, and this is why Sabre sends a group of our team to Summit every year. We go to learn, because you really need that time away from the office where you can be focused and you're not distracted, and you can attend the session. So there's usually about, I go and I look through the session list, and I can easily fill 4 hours of sessions a day. And then in addition to that, there's the networking, which is fantastic.
I
just to
agree.
talk to people
Yes.
and say, how did you solve this problem? I've had this. Sometimes I'm, as a partner, going to the clients who are attending and recognizing that somebody solved a problem one of my customers is having, and getting that information from them and then bringing it back to my customer is great. But it would be so much better if people were able to be there in person and have one or two or more representatives from their company, so that they can, gain that knowledge in person and hear those stories, and come back energized and with ideas and direction on how they can start using the product better. It's
Definitely.
so much, it's so difficult to keep up with technology today, even if you are in the technology space. For customers,
Hmm.
it's really almost impossible, but I think Summit makes that, it's a great, intense, fun, um, social event to go to, where you can try and keep on top of the technology today as a non-technical person.
Hmm. And you have your first session is on that Monday of Summit. So
Yep.
the title I see is Matching the Manufacturing Process to the ERP Implementation. You got
Yep.
Monday at 1:30.
Yeah, I've done this session. I think I've done this at all the summits where I've been a speaker, and I think of the four that we've been, well, five, I've been a speaker at all but one. I've done
Hmm.
this session, and what it is I'll frequently talk to a client that has implemented Business Central on their own, or with an accounting firm, or somebody who's not really strong in manufacturing. And when we sit and we begin talking about their business, if they're not what I'll call a traditional production manufacturing company that cookie cutter puts parts through, they're the same every time, they have a really well established structured process to follow. Quite often there's a lot of companies out there that are project oriented manufacturing. It's different every time, or they're in a very unusual industry, and they'll end up having the implementation not go well. And it's because the whoever was implementing it had experience in a particular type of manufacturing, and they tried to lay that over like a cookie cutter on this company, whoever it is I'm talking
Hmm.
to. And I see that. I see, okay, well, whoever implemented this must have had experience in job shops, because even though you're not a job shop, they apply job shop thinking to you, or vice versa.
Yep.
And so what I'm doing in this session is I'm going to talk about which modules of Business Central and any ERP. This could be applied to any ERP. I'm a little bit high, like at the 40,000 foot view, because I'm not trying to solve problems. I'm trying to explain why the problems might happen. But which modules of Business Central should be used in different types of manufacturing? And there's make to order, make to stock, job shops, engineer to order, configure to order, etc. And so I'm trying to give a sort of high level overview. I notice that there's a lot of ERP consultants that will come to my sessions. I get really great feedback from them. There's a lot of
Hmm.
clients who are internal consultants within their organization. And then another thing that comes out in this session sometimes, which I find really funny, is it's often the accounting person who's in the room, and they might, and I'm also in the Ask the Experts panel for manufacturing, which is the other session I'm doing this year. And they'll ask questions, and I clearly know that they are not the operations team. They're not
Uh,
from the operate. They're not from the shop floor. They are asking questions, and the reason they're asking the questions is because sometimes there are manufacturing implementation techniques, and I'm not even talking about ERP now. I'm just talking about like how consultants recommend that you lay out your factory, and you um, schedule your work, and create inventory points within the factory physically, that they're talking
hmm.
about it. The staff on the shop floor are trying to figure out how to get it done in the ERP, and the accounting department's trying to say, well, you can't do that. And I'm like, no, no, no. You can. There are ways, but there's a really legitimate reason why that question is being asked to you, and be cautious when you give them the answer of, you have to do it the way the ERP is designed to do, because you're creating this conflict that I see often between the production, manufacturing, supply chain teams in manufacturing environments and the ERP consultants from and accounting teams, because sometimes the one team doesn't quite understand what the other is talking about and they misinterpret, and manufacturing people are notoriously bad at IT, and accounting teams are sometimes, and this is not the rule, but it happens that they can be not understanding the supply chain and manufacturing processes, and then there's just chaos and confusion. So I'm trying to help solve that by giving people a bit of an overview of why you do things the way you do in these different types of manufacturing.
And you are presenting this one solo, right? Just you?
Yeah, I'm the only one at the matching the manufacturing process to the ERP implementation. I'm going to be with a group of probably about 5 or 6 superstars. I don't even really belong with them on the Business Central manufacturing panel.
Uh-huh.
And I would describe myself as being an expert in manufacturing process, but not an expert in Business Central itself.
So
So
for the session that you're talking about there, ask the BC experts manufacturing. I see that was on Tuesday, 9:45 that morning, and yeah, I did see a lot of people listed for that session as presenters or contributors there.
yeah, I
Ben
know
Baxter.
almost all of these people.
Okay, good. I've had a few of them on my podcast already. Steven was on a podcast. Mark was. Um, I don't remember Ben Baxter being on the call yet, but it's hard to keep track of who all has been on these interviews here.
Yeah, so
But
Ben,
you're in good company.
that I thank you very much. I like somebody like Andrew Good, who's on the um, panel. He's probably got me. He's probably lapped me on Business Central experience. I think I've really been working with the product truly since about 2013. So what does that make it? 12 years now. I'm sure Andrew's up in easily into the 20s of
Gotcha.
years with it, because he was with NAV before it was acquired by Microsoft, which was, I think you and I both looked at it. That was like 23 years ago.
Yep.
So there are these, people who have deep, deep knowledge with the product that goes all the way back. I think where I get lost is when somebody brings up we have an old version and it does this. And I just step back and go, I don't know, guys, you're going to have to talk to one of these experts here.
Yep. So for those who are new going to Summit, these two things are kind of different, because you have that first one on Monday where it's just going to be you, more of a presentation style, I think, and taking questions. And then this one on Tuesday, you've got 6 of you up there on a panel. I don't know if you're going to do presentations for that one. Maybe you're just taking questions from the audience.
We just take questions from the audience. So um, quite often it's whoever happens to be strong in that particular area will take the question. If 2 of us or 3 of us think we have a different take on it, we'll pass it back and we'll throw it to each other. Generally, I think this is one of the best sessions to go to if you have some unusual and unique problems in your manufacturing environment with Business Central, because you've got 6 people on the panel who have been there, done that, and somebody's going to give you an answer. The other thing is, if you are interested in moving from Great Plains and how you're doing your manufacturing in Great Plains with the native product or Horizon, or you're using some other MRP solution that's built into Great Plains, and you're looking, can I move that to Business Central? It's not a bad place to go and ask the questions, because the team will be able, to answer that. I'm of that group of people there. I don't know Elizabeth, but of the other people, I'm the one who has some Great Plains background, so I can act like a Rosetta Stone and translate. But it is a good place to go with those questions.
Awesome. And 4 questions that people might have for you about this anything manufacturing or business central stuff, do you have a preferred method of contact?
Well, if you are going to Summit, you can come to our booth. That's
There you
one
go.
thing you could do. But no, I prefer probably email.
Okay.
On our website, I do have a book a 30-minute meeting that's available to anybody to book a meeting with me. So our website is www.sabrelimited.com, SABRE. I'm sure you'll put that in the show notes or description.
We will,
But yeah,
yes.
you could book a meeting with me if you have any questions and do that, or you can email me at
Okay.
robert@saberlimited.com.
Good deal. I have not seen emails listed on the SummitNA.com website yet. So, but we'll put yours in the comment for the podcast. So they'll have
Absolutely.
that. They did roll out the mobile app. I saw that, I think, last week. So people have that as a option for it as well, although I don't think they have contacts in that either. So we got your email there. We'll tell everybody about that. And a quick tip for everybody who is attending, it's coming up fast to go to Summit, and there are so many sessions, and there are like hundreds of sessions. Well, I think over maybe close to 700 sessions out there. If you don't start looking now and figure out what you want to see, it's going to be hard to figure it out when you do get there.
Yeah, I
And
always
on
leave it to
the
the last. I always leave it to the last minute, and then I'm scrambling the night before and figuring out, okay, wow, there's you know 30 sessions tomorrow. Which six can I
Yep.
actually go see? And there's often like two at the same time. One thing about Summit, if you are going and it's your first time, some sessions repeat. So
Yep.
if you look at them and you go, oh wow, I really want to go to one or the other of these two at the same time, and you haven't looked forward through the following days, you may find that you pick the wrong one. You pick the one that actually repeats on a later day, and you miss the one
Hmm.
that didn't repeat. So yeah, very important.
Yep. And looking at all those sessions and trying to figure out which ones you do want to go to, the website has got a nifty little button that says add to my show planner. So if you like a topic, you can click that button. It'll, make it one of your favorites so you can keep it in mind when you do get there to Summit. And so let me recap. You got two of them there. Robert, matching the manufacturing process to the ERP implementation Monday at 1:30 that afternoon. And then on Tuesday, the one you just talked about was Ask the BC Experts Manufacturing. So two great sessions there. And the rest of the time, you said you have a booth in the Expo Hall, booth number 837.
Yep, booth 837. It's near the Insight Works booth, which Insight Works is and you said you interviewed Mark Hamblin from Insight
I
Works. They
did.
are a major ISV add-on partner for manufacturing add-ons for Business Central, and one of our favorite group to work with. So we're about 3 booths away from them.
Good. So you got some people you're familiar with. You get some interaction with them. Plus, you may have a lot of foot traffic between the booth with the puppies and the pickleball courts. So
Oh wow, yeah, I wasn't thinking about that, but yeah, the pickleball, isn't that neat?
I know I've never played pickleball. I don't think I'm a fan, but I think that I will at least try it during this week in the expo hall.
When I was younger, I played some tennis, but I'm not younger anymore. So maybe pickleball is my speed now.
I think that pickleball is supposed to be easier than tennis, I think.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like it looks like you're playing ping pong with a really big ping pong racket. That's
Yeah.
like paddle, right? And a much bigger ball on a court. So yeah, it looks a bit like playing tennis, but I haven't tried it yet. It
Well,
yeah, maybe I should.
at least walk by and check out the court. You might see me playing somebody out there.
Maybe it's time for me to take a shot.
So do you have anything else lined up for Summit that week?
We have a private event for our team and some of our favorite add-on vendors and customers who are coming. And then we
Hmm.
have some like the team is staying at a big Airbnb. So we're all in this big Airbnb near Disney Springs, and the fight was over who got the Millennium Falcon room and who got the Princess room. And it was
Did
two of
you
the
win?
lady two of the ladies in the group were fighting over those are a couple of ladies that like, oh, I want that one. No, I want it. It was pretty funny because I thought nobody would want to be in the in the
I,
Disney themed rooms, but no, I was wrong. So anyway,
I,
it'll be good. We're setting a large contingent because we really think of Summit as being one of the best educational opportunities, and we have some new staff, and we want them
uh-huh.
to be able to go to the sessions and learn. And we also have
It,
three of us who are session speakers. Um, Myself, my VP of operations, and my operations manager are all three of us are doing sessions, and then
all on
with
manufacturing
the
and Business Central.
there the VP operations I think is doing one on modifying your report templates and your layouts, and that's Katie Johnson. Uh, so
Katie, let's
Katie, there
see.
you go with the Sabre logo. There's Katie.
Yep. So I haven't
And
talked
Word
with her
reports in
yet.
Business Central as easy as ABC. And then the other team member is our VP of Operations, Jen Claridge. And Jen is
Let's see.
no Jen with the J, I think, isn't it? First, is it last name? Is it or
Last name.
oh, it is. It's last name. Yeah, so it's going to be C. You're correct. Yep. Sorry. And you'll see there's the Sabre logo on the left.
Yep. So I have had Jen on here
Yeah, and
already.
Jen
Yes.
is Jen. I don't know if she's had
She's
enough
busy.
people. She's busy. She's actually doing the pre-show. Um, and I don't know if they got enough people because you need enough people to attend it, but she's doing the pre-show um, warehousing 101 and warehousing 102 all day training, the academy
Okay.
classes. So there was a question as to whether there were enough attendees because for the academy, and if you haven't signed up for the academy classes, they're very, very detailed and thorough, and by far the least expensive way to get 2 days of training on Business Central in a classroom environment that you're going to find anywhere. Like they
Yep.
are an absolute great deal. But yeah, so she's doing that, and then she's working on a couple of different sessions also. But I really encourage the team to volunteer. Jen has just recently been named an MVP with Microsoft,
Hmm.
and I'm very proud of the whole team. And Katie has claimed that she will do so. She will be an MVP next. So I'll believe it when
Oh,
I
there you
see it.
go.
But yeah, that's a little bit of she's got a lot of ambition and very competitive. So
Uh-huh.
she wants to be there too.
So I do want to mention that you had that Airbnb with the two Disney rooms. One of them was for the Millennium Falcon. How did you not get that one? Because I thought that I saw where you
Oh,
were a big Star Wars
I
buff.
am a big Star Wars fan. I no, but it was the problem is it's like bunk beds. It's like
Ah,
so I want to sleep in a big comfy bed
gotcha.
and I'm yeah, I'm a little too old to sleep in the Star Wars sheets, but I had Star Wars sheets when I was growing up.
I
And
think we all did, yeah.
yeah, yeah, and it's no, I'm a bit of a sci-fi nerd. I also love music, so I have a big
Hmm.
music collection. Yeah, mostly classic rock, but a ex bought me the Rolling Stone magazine top 500 albums of all time coffee table book, and I was a big fan of music, so I went and I looked at my library, my music library, and I thought, well, I've got to have a lot of these. And
Uh-huh.
as I went through, I just became more and more depressed because of the, let's say, 200 albums I owned on vinyl and CD. I had maybe 20 of them. that were in the top
Oh,
500. And I said, this was probably around 2008, 2007, something like that. I said, I have to make this right. So I own 492 of the top 500 albums, mostly, I would say all on CD, because in 2006, 2007, when I started collecting them, CD was the way everybody bought music. And I bought them used. So I would go to the used, I go to flea markets and, you know, thrift stores, and there was a used CD store that was around here, and I bought almost every one of them used, because that was cheating if I just went on Amazon and bought them all new. And so the 8 I don't have are out of print, and I did find one on eBay for $400, but I'm not that hardcore.
Well, hey, when we post this, put the ones that you don't have in the comments, and maybe somebody will see that and can bring it to you.
Yeah, baby. They're pretty odd too. But I think if somebody has it, they're probably hardcore enough that they don't want to give it to me.
Gotcha. Mercy. Well, hey, it has been great talking with you today. So a lot of good stuff going on there with you and your team. We talked about your booth in the expo hall. Um, uh, this is going to be it's just 2 weeks away. I have not even booked my flight yet. I got to do that tonight.
Yeah, I booked my flight late too, and I paid a big premium. Should have booked it a month and a half ago.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, I appreciate you joining us today. It's always great for sharing information between people like you and everybody who's interested in Summit. And for everybody who's listening, if you get a chance, reach out to Robert while you're down there and meet him in person. It's always great to really meet people and associate a face with an email account or a LinkedIn profile.
Thanks very much. No, I really appreciate and enjoyed this.
Awesome. Well, hey, I did too, Robert, and I will look for you down in Orlando.